All right, so are you ready to dive into some serious history with us today?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm talking about the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and MLK.
3 huge events.
I mean, we all know the basics, right?
Yeah.
The who, what, when.
The broad strokes.
So we're going beyond that.
Much deeper.
We got some newly declassified documents to look at today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were supposed to reveal, like, everything.
Wow.
But so far, it's kind of like opening a puzzle box and finding another puzzle box inside.
Right. It's a reminder that sometimes, having more information doesn't actually give you more clarity.
Right.
Sometimes it just deepens the mystery, adds fuel to the fire.
Oh, for sure. The conspiracy theories.
Yeah, exactly.
So before we get lost in all that speculation, let's remind ourselves about the facts.
Okay. Sounds good.
JFK first, November 22nd, 1963, Dallas, Texas.
Right.
President Kennedy's in a motorcade, shots ring out, chaos, and then Lee Harvey Oswald is arrested.
And almost immediately, the official narrative starts to fall apart. 2 days later, Oswald is killed by Jack Ruby.
While being transferred between jails, right?
That's right. And this one event just throws everything into question.
Like if Oswald was acting alone?
Right. Why silence him?
Yeah, why?
Was Ruby just a lone wolf? Or was he acting on someone else's orders?
Good questions.
Yeah.
Well, the Warren Commission, the one formed to investigate the assassination, concluded that Oswald acted alone and that Ruby's actions were impulsive.
Right.
But let's be honest, that explanation didn't satisfy everyone.
No, not at all. In fact, a lot of people, they think it just solidified the belief that there's something more going on.
Behind the scenes.
Exactly.
So the Warren Commission has been scrutinized since, well, day one.
Oh, yeah.
Critics say its investigation was rushed. And its conclusions, well, they were more about protecting the government than revealing the truth.
That's a big accusation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is where the conspiracy theories come in, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so was it Cuba getting revenge for the Bay of Pigs? Or was it the CIA getting rid of a president who was, I don't know, maybe too unpredictable?
Could be.
What about the Mafia? Maybe they wanted to settle scores after how RFK cracked down on organized crime.
Lots of possibilities.
The possibilities are just, it's enough to make your head spin.
You have to remember the context, too, right? This was the early 1960s. The Cold War, there was a lot of anxiety, communism, and trust in the government was already eroding.
So these anxieties made it easy for people to be suspicious.
Oh, absolutely. It just fueled the spread of these alternative explanations for JFK's death.
Okay, so JFK's death leaves the nation, I don't know, reeling, grappling with all these unanswered questions.
That's a huge shock.
And then, 5 years later, April 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. is assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee.
Wow.
He's standing on a balcony outside his motel room when, boom, another American icon is gone.
So this time, James Earl Ray is arrested.
An escaped convict, right?
Yeah. Yes. And he quickly confesses. Seems pretty straightforward. But then he changes his mind.
What?
He recants his confession and claims that he was set up by, and this is the really interesting part,
God.
by a mysterious figure named Raoul.
Raoul. That sounds like something out of a spy novel.
It does, doesn't it?
So this Raoul character adds a whole new level of intrigue to the MLK assassination.
For sure.
What do we even know about this guy?
Yeah, and should we believe anything Ray says?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
Could Raoul be a real person?
A mastermind.
Behind, maybe, both assassinations.
Or is he just a fabrication?
Yeah, like a scapegoat for Ray.
Maybe.
There's more. This former FBI agent named Donald Wilson claimed he found papers in Ray's car after the assassination. And these papers mentioned Raoul.
Really?
But get this, they also mentioned people connected to the JFK assassination. So, coincidence. Or something more.
It makes you wonder, right, if there's a link.
If true, this is a conspiracy of crazy proportions. Right?
Huge. Yeah.
Reaching the highest levels.
I have power.
And then we have to factor in Lloyd Jowers.
Who's that?
He owned a tavern in Memphis. He claimed he was part of a Mafia plot to kill King.
Wow.
And he also mentioned Raoul.
So we have the Mafia, a shadowy figure maybe connected to JFK's death, and an escaped convict claiming he was framed.
It's what do you even believe at this point?
Well, it's clear that the MLK assassination just added to the nation's pain.
Right.
More fear, more distrust. It all started with JFK's death.
And now?
The idea that even someone like Martin Luther King Jr. could be assassinated, I mean, a champion of peace, of nonviolence, it creates this chilling feeling of vulnerability.
It feels like a real turning point in American history.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the hope and optimism of the early 1960s just started to, I don't know, crumble.
Disappear.
And then just 2 months later, tragedy strikes again. Robert F. Kennedy, JFK's younger brother, he's shot in Los Angeles after winning the California Democratic primary.
It just doesn't stop.
So June 5th, 1968, RFK is shot by Sirhan Sirhan.
Where?
In the kitchen of the Ambassador Hotel.
Oh, wow.
Sirhan is arrested right there.
Yeah.
Confesses. Convicted.
Open and shut.
But the doubts linger.
Again.
Yeah, people challenge the official story.
Whoa.
Well, even RFK Jr. believes that Sirhan wasn't the real killer. He says his father was actually shot by someone with ties to the CIA.
And his evidence.
He says there were more bullets fired than Sirhan's gun could hold. So is he just clinging to hope? Or could there be truth to his claims?
RFK Jr.'s claims bring us back to that same question, don't they?
Which one?
Could there be a connection between these assassinations?
You mean they weren't isolated?
Right. Or was there something bigger at play? Some force?
Eliminating anyone who threatened it.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have 3 high-profile assassinations, each with its own web of conspiracy theories.
Right.
A mysterious figure named Raul, and a nation struggling with loss and paranoia.
What a time.
I don't know about you, but I am hooked.
I'm definitely intrigued.
Let's take a closer look at each case and see if we can untangle this web of intrigue.
I'm ready.
Okay, so let's try to unpack some of these conspiracy theories and see if we can figure out what's real and what's not.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know, with JFK, one of the biggest questions is about the grassy knoll.
The grassy knoll.
Yeah, some witnesses said they heard shots coming from that area.
Oh, right.
Which means there could have been a second shooter.
Maybe.
Or even a coordinated attack.
Yeah, the grassy knoll is like the symbol of the JFK assassination.
Yeah.
It represents the doubt, you know?
The suspicion.
Yeah, like we're not getting the whole story.
It makes you think about who might have wanted JFK dead and why.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it some random guy with a grudge?
Or something bigger?
Yeah, much bigger.
Well, there are a few popular theories out there.
Like what?
Well, some people point to Cuba, Fidel Castro.
Yeah, revenge for the Bay of Pigs.
And the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Right.
Others think it could have been the U.S. government itself.
Really?
Yeah, maybe the CIA. Or even people in JFK's own administration.
Who thought he was a problem.
Yeah, a liability.
And don't forget about the Mafia.
Oh, yeah. They definitely had a motive.
They wanted revenge for RFK going after them.
Right.
And then some people think it was all of the above.
Like a perfect storm.
Yeah, coming together to eliminate JFK.
Because he was too unpredictable.
Right.
It's fascinating.
It really is.
Okay, so the Cuban connection, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, with what was going on in the world at the time.
But would Castro really risk war with the U.S.?
By assassinating the president?
That seems risky.
What about the CIA then?
Well, they definitely had the ability to do it.
Yeah, and the motive, if they thought JFK was messing things up for them.
Or putting national security at risk.
But wouldn't there be more evidence if they were involved?
That's the problem with conspiracy theories.
What do you mean?
Well, a lot of it is speculation.
Yeah.
Circumstantial evidence.
Right, so it's hard to prove anything.
It's hard to disprove it, too.
What about the Mafia theory?
Well, they were powerful in the 60s.
Yeah, for sure.
They could definitely carry out a hit like that.
But is there actual evidence?
Not really.
It's like the lack of answers just makes it more intriguing.
Oh, totally.
People love a mystery, you know.
They want to find the hidden truth.
It's like a real-life detective story.
Everyone wants to be Sherlock Holmes.
And the internet makes it even easier
to
go down those rabbit holes.
Right. Now anyone can be an armchair detective.
Looking at declassified documents,
witness statements,
hours of footage.
it's all there.
So we may never know for sure who killed JFK,
Or why.
but we're still captivated by it.
Right. We have to face these tough questions about power, secrecy, and the truth.
Yeah, what is the truth?
It's a good question.
Speaking of messy and complicated, let's move on to MLK
Okay.
and that mysterious Raul.
Oh, yeah. What about him?
James Earl Ray confessed.
And then he took it back.
Why would he plead guilty if he was innocent?
Maybe he felt pressured.
With all the evidence.
Right, and maybe he thought he'd get a lighter sentence.
Or maybe Raul was controlling him somehow.
Coercing.
Tricking him into taking the blame for a bigger conspiracy.
Possibly.
You know, even before Ray recanted, there were rumors of a larger plot.
Yeah.
Remember Lloyd Jowers?
The tavern owner?
Yeah. He said he was part of a mafia hit on King.
And he said it wasn't just the mafia.
What else?
He said the Memphis police were involved, too.
Wow.
Jowers said the rifle used to kill King was planted by a cop.
Which makes you think there was a cover-up.
It does.
His claims are controversial.
Yeah.
But they add another layer to this case.
For sure.
Could the mafia have done this alone?
Or were they working with someone else?
And where does Raoul fit into all of this?
It's a good question.
Then we have the former FBI agent, Donald Wilson.
What did he say?
He said he found papers in Ray's car.
Those papers that mention Raoul?
Yeah, and they connected Raoul to people involved in the JFK assassination.
That's a huge claim.
It makes you wonder if it's all connected somehow.
One giant conspiracy.
It's a fascinating piece of the puzzle.
If it's true.
But it's hard to prove, right?
Yeah, we don't know if those papers are real.
Or if Wilson's story is accurate.
It's all speculation.
It feels like every new detail just leads to more questions.
And no answers.
But maybe that's the point, right?
Maybe.
Maybe that's what keeps us so interested.
The mystery.
Yeah, we're forced to confront what we don't know.
The limits of our knowledge.
And the fact that the truth might be out of reach.
It's possible that we'll never know everything.
Okay, well, let's talk about RFK now.
Okay.
Sirhan was convicted.
Of RFK's murder.
But people still have doubts.
What kind of doubts?
Well, RFK Jr. believes his father was killed by someone else.
Someone connected to the CIA?
Right.
What's his evidence?
Well, he says there were too many bullets for Sirhan's gun.
Interesting.
And he says key evidence was destroyed.
Like what?
The door frame the bullets went through.
So a proper investigation was impossible.
And then there's the whole mystery of the girl in the polka dot dress.
Who's that?
Witnesses saw her with Sirhan before the shooting.
And then?
She disappeared.
Vanished.
Poof. Gone.
That's strange.
It makes you wonder if she was involved somehow.
Maybe she was accomplice.
Or part of a plan to set Sirhan up.
Yeah, the girl in the polka dot dress is like another piece of this puzzle.
Right, like the grassy knoll.
Exactly. They become symbols.
Of the mystery.
They represent the things we don't know.
It seems like every new clue leads to a dead end.
Or another rabbit hole.
That's just how it is with historical research, right?
Yeah, you have to keep questioning and revising what you think.
We're just trying to piece together what happened.
To create a narrative, even if it's incomplete.
And these new documents give us another perspective.
Yeah, a new chance to look at the evidence.
Maybe we'll find new details.
That could help us solve these mysteries.
So let's take a look and see what we find.
I'm ready.
It's easy to get lost in the details of each case you know. But what do these assassinations tell us about America in the 60s?
Well, they weren't just tragedies. They were huge turning points.
Yeah.
They showed us the cracks in American society.
Like what?
Well, think about it. The Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War, there was already so much going on.
And people were losing faith in the government.
Exactly.
So these assassinations made things even worse.
Oh, absolutely. Each one was a blow to a movement.
Like JFK represented hope.
Right, for a new generation.
MLK was fighting for equality.
And RFK was all about justice and reform.
Their deaths left a huge void.
A sense of loss.
And fear.
Yeah, it felt like America lost its innocence.
Like the hope of the early 60s just vanished.
Replaced by cynicism and distrust.
And that's continued to today.
I think so.
These cases feel so relevant now.
Yeah.
We're still dealing with race, inequality, and politics.
It's true.
And trust in the government is, well...
not great.
Yeah.
It shows you how powerful these events were. They changed how we see the past.
And the present.
They remind us that democracy is fragile.
That we have to protect our rights.
And the rule of law.
It's amazing how people have interpreted these events over time.
In so many different ways.
And the conspiracy theories just keep growing.
It makes you think that maybe the official stories are wrong.
Or that they're hiding something.
Yeah, the internet has definitely helped spread those theories.
Like an echo chamber. Speculation becomes fact.
Right. But we have to be careful.
Yeah.
Not all theories are the same.
Some are more plausible than others.
We have to look at the evidence.
And be critical.
Don't just believe everything you read.
Especially online.
Yeah, be wary of people who claim to have all the answers.
Especially if they're trying to profit from a tragedy.
Right. Finding the truth is a delicate process.
It's complicated.
We have to acknowledge that we don't know everything.
And some mysteries may never be solved.
That's just how it is sometimes.
Well, we've explored a lot today.
Yeah, we have.
The facts, the theories, the impact of these events.
It's been quite a deep dive.
But I feel like this is just the beginning.
Oh, there's so much more to uncover.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to learn more?
Well, I'd say read everything you can,
The declassified documents.
research papers,
All of it.
and then form your own conclusions.
Don't be afraid to question what you thought you knew.
Look at things from different perspectives.
Right. History is not set in stone.
It's constantly evolving.
As we find new evidence.
And new voices emerge.
So stay curious.
Keep asking questions.
The truth is out there.
Somewhere.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you learned something new.
And that you'll keep exploring these fascinating cases.
Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.